Do y'all ever visit the big house?
The big house is my parents' house. So not much. We haven't actually been over there in a while, probably like a couple years, other than once. Like to check
the mail.
Grab some mail or something.
2 years.
But yeah, there's like some restrictions, but also threshold, like we like to call it, is like just a little bit lower in this season of life for us with a lot going on in our own life. So,
there's a lot of trees
anyways,
there.
plus
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a really good day. It's Wednesday, November 24th, and tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I just told you in another video that my husband and I made the executive decision not to cook, and I was astounded by the amount of comments of you all telling me the same thing, like you're staying home, you're not cooking, you're relaxing. So I am glad to know that I'm in good company. If you are celebrating tomorrow with your family, be safe, social distance, wear your masks if you're not vaccinated, and I hope you guys all have a good day. So one thing that we haven't talked about lately are really any of the other Duggars outside of Josh Duggar's trial. And I actually saw this on Derick Dillard's page. And then interestingly, I had a conversation today with someone in Arkansas, an insider, about some courtship shenanigans with one of the Duggar siblings. And I thought, well, this actually ties really closely into the conversation that I had today. So I'm going to just do a one in all. I'm going to combine it. So we know that on the show, Counting On and 19 Kids and Counting, the Duggars were really obsessed with, advocating for purity and discussing how courtship was better than marriage or better than dating, because courtship was preparing someone for marriage, dating with a purpose.
Our relationship started as a courtship versus dating, and that is trusting God for the one person that's right for you versus shopping around trying to find the right one.
Dating with the intention of marriage, not just simply dating to get to know someone. In the real world, a relationship like this would just be called a serious relationship, because not all courtships end in marriage. And in the fundamentalist world, they have this belief that these marriages or these relationships are better because dating prepares you for a divorce. Because if you date one person and you leave them and then you get married to someone, you're very well going to divorce someone because you know that you can always just leave the relationship.
And it's training for a divorce mentality. Our courtship is first praying and asking the Lord, I love you more than anybody. So is this the person?
Okay. Dating and marriage are very different. I think most people in the real world know that. I mean, I had lots of boyfriends, and I'm not divorced, and I've been married 11 years, so that's just me. Anyways, so Derick Dillard and Jill have vocally broken ties with her family, and they've spoken out a lot. Like, Derick has accused Jim Bob of stealing millions of dollars from his kids, has said that they weren't paid. He revealed that they had to go to get an attorney to get paid. They've cut ties with some of the stricter standards. She wears shorts and jeans and bathing suits, and she has her nose pierced, and she has realized that a lot of the stuff that she grew up around, it wasn't the truth. And I think I told you in a video that when Jill's eyes were opened and she started approaching her father about that was when she was labeled dangerous by her dad. Incidentally, I was told that Jim Bob also labels like the media and bloggers like me as dangerous because we have a propensity to not just stick to their narratives. So in Jim Bob's mind, according to the sources I've spoke to, dangerous is just qualified as anyone that doesn't speak what Jim Bob says. So Derick on his Instagram actually posted on their 8-year anniversary of dating. So on Derick's Instagram, he said this: 8 years ago today, I started dating my best friend, Jill Dillard. While I was working on the other side of the world, I definitely enjoyed our unchaperoned motorcycle ride around the area. And I have fond memories of the extra week we had over Thanksgiving to enjoy more intimate time together and to get to know each other even better. If I had a GED and knowing you then, I want a PhD 50 years from now. Now, obviously, the unchaperoned part was really what got everyone like, oh my gosh, you were unchaperoned with Jill? You and Jill were unchaperoned? You did not have a chaperone? Oh, the humanity, because they're not allowed to do unchaperoned things. But the thing is like on a motorcycle ride, really can Jim Bob be the third wheel? Maybe he just figured it was like innocent enough, not to say that they might not have stopped, and I don't know. Did he have eyes on it? Did he have another motorcycle person following them? Maybe the camera crews were around there? I don't know. And then in the comments, so obviously someone said unchaperoned, LOL, and more intimate time together after that? No way Jim Bob and Michelle would ever allow such a thing. Haha, happy for y'all. And then someone else said, oh, I love this so much. How did you manage alone time with JB jumping between you at every opportunity? You're her hero, Derick. Happy first date anniversary. So one person that responded, Derick actually responded to, and they said, no need to take a dig at the rules that were in place to protect her and you. Nothing wrong with trying to keep yourself from being tempted to sin. Okay, this is how Derick responded. No dig, I'm just saying I enjoyed times without a chaperone too. What guy wouldn't enjoy riding through Kathmandu with a beautiful girl on the back of his motorcycle? She hangs on tighter when you go fast and take sharp corners too. She also was sitting sideways because she was wearing a skirt. I don't know if she sat sideways the whole time, and that's certainly not very safe. So I hope that was a joke when he said that she sat sideways because she was wearing a skirt. But so the real cue here is that they had unchaperoned time and they took opportunities and took advantage of that while they were in Nepal. And so obviously this is where we come to my next part. So the Duggars like to say that their daughters are chaste, the boys are pure, that there's no kissing, no hand holding, nothing until engagement is hand holding, and then at marriage is when they share their first kisses. Not all the Duggars apparently saved their first kisses, and one Duggar in particular, who was actually wed in February of this year, Justin Duggar, actually got into a pickle with another girl before he actually started dating Claire. So here's how it goes. And I think I told you guys about this, but I had a second source confirm the story and even provide more context. So this is what I was told. Before Justin was actually set up with Claire, he was interested in this other girl, and he and this other girl had a relationship where they were like very close. And apparently at one point when they were down in Big Sandy at the family camp or at one of the conferences, he was seen getting cozy with a girl, and that he may have been known to sneak away with this girl and potentially lock lips. So apparently Justin is caught kissing this other girl, and the Duggars are apparently not thrilled by this, and they decide that Justin is not going to have a relationship with this girl. And I was told that the reason why this girl was not a good fit for Justin was because the Duggars weren't sure if her parents and her would adhere to the rules of the IBLP. And they were interested in finding a wife for Justin that would have a family that would be adhering to the Gothardisms and stay inside of the cult. And there was concern that this worldly girl that was kissing Justin was not the right fit. So apparently Michelle nipped the relationship in the bud, according to my source. This actually is very similar to the story that I told you last spring, where I said that Justin had a relationship and they couldn't believe that Claire was even okay with it because he wasn't honest with Claire or her family about his feelings for this other girl. And Justin had a lot of girls that were interested in him. And he's apparently a very personable kid. And so what they did, I was told, was when they realized that Justin had feelings for this girl, they felt like they had to calm down his drive as a man and find him a mate so that he would settle down. And in their thinking, according to my source, they believed that Justin had skills. He was a good mechanic. He could build houses. He was able to work. And so they thought, well, he's 17, he's fine. And then the Spiveys have experience in the IBLP. Apparently, one of them is 2 or 3 generations into this group. And so they felt like the Spiveys were not likely to abandon the belief system. So by setting him up with Claire, it would be better fit for him to keep him grounded in the beliefs. And apparently, he and Claire end up set up. And the goal is that if we marry Justin off, we'll tame the wild oats of Justin. Now imagine your wild oats as a child or a teen is that you kissed a girl at a camp. Imagine your parents saying, you can't be with that girl because you kissed her, allegedly. And so because you kissed her and you've got feelings for girls, and because you're likely to do this again, we're going to just find you a wife so that you can kiss them in marriage. Anyways, Claire's family, I guess the girl's family that he was dating before Claire, was sort of like almost blindsided by this, because suddenly she was sort of ostracized and Claire was suddenly the chosen one, and the Spiveys were friends with the other girl's family. And it created some tension between the two families because the Duggars sort of dumped the other family and they chose the Spiveys, and then Justin and Claire get married. So when I tell you that relationships are directed by the Duggars, I'm not lying. I don't know. I mean, maybe Justin did like Claire, or maybe he just felt like it was his way out. But Justin did marry Claire, and he did not get to be with the girl that he liked. It kind of reminds me of how Josh Duggar liked Kaylee Holt, wanted to be with Kaylee Holt. That didn't work out because Josh is a bad kid. And Jim Bob Duggar sets Josh up with Anna, and then they get married to tame his wild oats, which we know doesn't work. And Josh ended up in a world of hurt and cheated on her, and now is facing charges. So, you know, will some of these boys end up cheating on their wives and being unfaithful? Does marrying someone who has hormones and simply just wants to kiss a girl, is that really the answer? I mean, imagine any time you got in trouble as a kid and you kissed someone, and then your parents' response is, you can't date them, you're marrying that person. Is this like Handmaid's Tale? Is this like 1853? So, or 1754 or 1500s? It's so archaic. So when you think about it in that respect, so Justin and Claire are put into this relationship, and now think of Jill and Derick. They go on a motorcycle ride, unchaperoned, and she holds on tightly to him. So Jill was one of the few, before maybe a trailblazer, in showing her younger siblings that you can break some rules when you're courting, and you can do things unchaperoned. Maybe Justin just saw what his older brothers were doing. Maybe he said, hey, Josh, right? He's unchaperoned. There's other boys, let's just say, that have been known to go around unchaperoned with the girls and the Duggars. And don't be fooled to believe that the first kiss for these kids is at their wedding. For many of them, they've already had a first kiss well before they were married, and maybe not even to their spouse. But appearances for Jim Bob are everything, and what matters is that he wants you to believe that his kids have never been kissed and are the purest of the earth. What are your thoughts about Derick and Jill breaking chaperones, and what are your thoughts about Justin and Claire? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.